MLB 2020 season canceled. How much money will they lose? With fewer games and strict social distancing measures, we can confidently say that the coronavirus has been a major bummer for this season. But there are bigger problems under the surface. According to Commissioner Rob Manfred, Major League Baseball stands to lose $4 billion if they can't play the 2020 season. With less than empty stadiums, how will the league survive? So, are you ready? Because today we'll talk about MLB 2020 season canceled. How much money will they lose? Sadly, experts predict that it might take years for things to return to normal. Yes, that includes jam-packed games, large crowds, and the long line to the bathroom. With fewer people, the MLB forecasted that for its regular 82-game season, they stand to lose over $4 billion in free flow cash. Yes, that's $4 billion. This does not include other businesses that might be affected by the crowd, or maybe lack of it, such as bars, restaurants, stands, and much, much more. With billions of dollars at stake, how bad is the impact of the coronavirus on the MLB? But before we get into that, please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so we can keep you updated on the latest financial tips and trends. Stay tuned because we will also share what you should expect for the upcoming season. How bad is it? In a report from the Associated Press, the MLB is facing as much as a $640,000 loss for every single game. Collectively, all the 30 teams are looking at a minimum of an $84 million loss before interest and taxes. However, not all losses are equal. For example, the Tigers are at the bottom of the list when it comes to losses, while the Dodgers are projected to lose as much as $232 million. But that's nothing compared to the Yankees' whopping $312 million. This signals a huge drop in revenues for each team. But let me tell you, the multi-million-dollar losses are just the start. Players take the hit. Aside from serious health concerns from the coronavirus, another problem that the MLB has to deal with are its players. As a part of their March agreement, the league tried to make an argument that the players have to agree and accept salary cuts. The league explained that the financial burden to launch the 2020 season is just too much. That's because, without the added revenues from fans, the league is at a loss. Of course, the players pushed back. Basically, they agreed that they would only get a prorated version of their original 2020 salary. Now, this is based on how many regular season games they played. So, for example, in the 82-game season, they will likely only receive half of their original salary. According to previous reports, owners proposed that they would like to have a 50-50 split with the players in terms of revenue. However, that idea was pretty much immediately shot down. Losses through regional sports network. Usually, media rights come from national broadcast deals, as well as club media rights from regional sports networks. The Sports Business Journal explained, regional sports networks are only contractually obligated to pay rights fees for each game that is delivered after clubs fail to deliver a minimum number of games. This means that fewer games meant a loss for regional sports networks. And right now, things are definitely not looking up. In fact, they are projected to lose as much as $980,000 per team. In fact, they are projected to lose as much as $980,000 per game on both teams. Overall, that might spell a collective $1.2 billion to $2.3 billion loss. The new normal. With so much financial losses coming from the league, down to the players, and even regional sports networks, you might be wondering, what's next for the MLB? Well, the good news is, after all the deals and the whopping financial losses, the MLB will continue to play the 2020 season. The league announced on June 23rd that they will only have a 60-game season, and the players agreed that they would have to follow the commissioner's outline. In fact, players were already instructed to report on July 1st for spring training. That means that the season might start on either July 23rd or July 24th. However, the situation is far from the happy, boisterous games that we know. Stadiums can only accommodate half of their seating capacity, and you could say goodbye to any game celebration and after parties. Players can't even leave their hotels, spit, or chew tobacco. They will also be tested for COVID-19 when they arrive at the training camp. And this is really important, especially when the Phillies and the Rockies are dealing with an outbreak. Each team is also expected to play 40 games against their divisional opponents. On the other hand, they will play 20 games in the same division to prevent the team from traveling. So this is how it would go. Basically, American League East teams will play against the National League East, but they can't play against American League Central or West. Even with all the changes, the show must go on. Are you excited about the MLB opening day? Let us know in the comments down below.